Is brought to you by Lilly, a medicine company.
11 minutes after 9 o'clock, Indiana state lawmakers are looking at whether to change rules about school boards and political affiliations. Alexandra Appleton is our friend from Chalkbeat, Indiana. She's on the case, as always, during a state house session. Things may be changing minute by minute. What is the rule now about party affiliations and school board members, and what would this bill change if it goes forward?
Sure. Yeah. Right now, school board elections are nonpartisan. So when you click the button to vote for all candidates of a party, you also have to click another button to vote for your school board representative, who is nonpartisan. What this bill seeks to do in its current form is give school board candidates the option to declare a party affiliation or declare themselves nonpartisan or declare themselves independent. It's a little bit of a change from what it was originally, which would have made it a requirement for these school board candidates to have.
Did that change during the session? These bills do change?
Yep.
Okay.
Right, exactly. It has changed. It passed one way out of the Senate, and the House has substituted its own version very recently.
One of your new articles in Chalkbeat sort of outlines the arguments for and against. Let's go through those a little bit. When someone says this change needs to happen, what's the argument they make?
It essentially would give voters more information. The argument is that voters are going in not knowing anything about their school board candidates, haven't had a chance to research, haven't seen much about them the way they would have seen about the president or the governor, for example. So having a party affiliation gives that voter just a little bit more information about who they're voting for.
Flip side of the coin, what's the argument against it?
That you should probably do your research before you step into the voting booth. That's one of the arguments against it. The other argument against it is that partisan politics just don't belong on a school board, which is primarily in charge of passing a budget and hiring a superintendent. There's not a lot of room for partisan politics otherwise. You
heard from a member of the board up in Warsaw, I think, who made an interesting point. It seemed she took us into the room, as it were, and her contention was once we're making those decisions, we don't at all talk about our party politics. Is that the sense you got?
Right, exactly. They're busy. They have other things to do other than talk about their party politics.
All right. Well, again, this is something that could change minute by minute. If it does, Alexandra and her team, and of course here at Wish TV with Garrett Berquist, we'll let you know if that lives or dies or moves on. Quick note before we go, a word about student IDs and whether they'll be sufficient for use in some of the state's most important business.
Right. Out of the House Elections Committee, there was another bill that would essentially make it so that college students can't use their college ID cards to vote anymore. They would have to, if they're out-of-state college students, apply for an Indiana ID, like a driver's license, which many college students say they don't have because they don't drive.
And there's a time lapse, if you will, between when you want that and when you apply for it and then when you finally get it as well. And so if that stacks up, maybe make it a little bit tougher to use that in that context.
Good point. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Alexandra Appleton, as always, thanks for being on the beat for us all year long, and especially during the State House session.
Thank you so much.